Hi everyone, I'm FighterLvl, and today we're going to see how to set up macros for multi-class characters in Roll20. And this will enable you to correctly calculate abilities that are based upon class level rather than character level. Before we dive in, I'd just like to thank Roll20 for sponsoring this video. Now in the past, I've done videos that show how to create a macro for a fighter's second wind ability, or for a Twilight cleric's Twilight Sanctuary ability. But the thing about both those abilities is that they are dependent upon the character's class level. So how many levels you have in cleric or how many levels you have in fighter. And the macros that I'd done previously assumed that your character was just a single class. You were just a fighter, you were just a cleric. But now today we're going to see how to set it up for when you are a multi-class character. So here we have Jayla. She's a 5th level character with 3 levels of cleric and 2 levels of fighter. So how do we go about making the Twilight Sanctuary macro so that it will correctly calculate that she is a level 3 cleric? And how do we correctly calculate that she is a level 2 fighter for second wind purposes? Alright, so let's break it down. My original Twilight Sanctuary macro looked like this, where we have the template is damage, that's what makes it look like this right here. The rname is Twilight Sanctuary, which is the text right here. The damage equals 1 and damage 1 flag means that we're displaying the numbers that are going to be in our roll here. And then the damage 1 type is temporary HP because we're doing healing. This right here is the part where we were including Jayla's level. And you see right now we're just using Jayla pipe level. Well, if you hover over this and look, you see that Jayla pipe level is giving us a value of 5 because that's Jayla's overall character level. We don't want that. We actually want just her cleric level. So the way that we're going to determine that is with a different attribute. Instead of it being Jayla level, it's going to be Jayla base underscore level. And base underscore level refers to how many levels you have in your initial class. Whatever your first class was on your character sheet is considered to be your base level. So the way that you tell which one was first is simply by the order that they're listed on your character sheet. Jayla started out as a cleric and then she dipped into fighter. So Jayla base underscore level is going to retrieve the 3 for her cleric level. Now, to help make this a little easier to identify, what I'm going to do is put in some square brackets here, and I'm going to put in the word ClericLvl. And that will just be a little helper text to me to know that the 3 that's being added here is her cleric level, and I'll know that that's right. So let me just copy this, and let's paste it in. There we go. And now when we hover over this, we can see that we've rolled a d6, plus we've added a 3, which is our cleric level, and we got a 5 on our die roll, plus 3 for a total of 8. So now switching gears to the second wind macro, this is the original second wind macro that I had. Again, it's the same type of thing. We have a d10 plus Jayla's level, but we don't want Jayla's level, we want Jayla's fighter level. Well, any subsequent class that you have is going to be listed as a multi-class attribute on your character sheet. So instead of Jayla pipe level, what we're going to replace that with is Jayla pipe multiclass 1 underscore level. And it's going to say, okay, this is our base class. What's our first multi-class that's defined here? And that is going to be fighter 2. And just like before, I'm going to add in some square brackets with descriptive text here. I'm just going to call that fighter level. And now when I copy this and paste it in here, and again, we'll hover over this. You can see now that we are correctly grabbing the 2 from our fighter level. And if your character has more than 2 classes, we can handle that too. You just need to find the appropriate value on the character sheet. So let me show you how to look those up. So all you need to do is go onto the Attributes and Abilities tab here. And to make it easier to find things, what I'm going to recommend you do is press this pop-out button. And what that will allow you to do now is use the Control F shortcut for your browser to search for things. If you try to do this in just the regular character sheet window, the Control F shortcut will actually turn on the select tool in Roll20 rather than bring up this find dialog. So when it's in its own independent window, you can use Control F to find things. So I'm going to search for the word multiclass, and you can see right here, it gives me the list of all the multiclass attributes that are on my character sheet. So multiclass 1 flag means that I do have a secondary class. And multiclass 1 level is my fighter level. That's 2. If I were to dip into a third class, like let's say I decided I wanted to go into Paladin or Warlock or something like that, then this multiclass 2 flag would turn on, and the multiclass 2 level would be whatever my third class was. So you can just quickly look through here, grab whichever level is appropriate, and you're off and running. Now the last tip that I'll give about this comes to us from a forum post from a user named Kyle G. And what Kyle suggests is to make it easier to refer to the specific levels, so ClericLvl, FighterLvl, whatever, is to create 2 custom attributes on your character sheet that refer back to your base level and your multiclass levels. So let me just show you how that works. We'll just jump back into our character sheet here. I'm going to add an attribute, and I'm going to call that attribute ClericLvl. And there we go. And the ClericLvl is just going to be our base level. So that'll be at squiggly bracket base underscore level, closing curly brace. And then we'll scroll all the way back up to the top. We'll add another attribute, and we'll call this one fighter underscore level. And again, that will be our multiclass level 1. I'm just going to paste that in so you don't have to watch me type it again. So it's the same attribute that we were putting into the macro. And now, with those in there, we can actually refer to Jayla ClericLvl and Jayla FighterLvl. So if I were to bring back my notepad window, so here's our second wind macro, I can change this from multiclass to FighterLvl. And now if I copy and paste this and run it, you can see that we successfully pulled our fighter level in by using our custom attribute that is referring to the multiclass. So that just makes it a little easier to read, makes it a little easier to track, and a little easier to work with as you're building your macros. So there you go. That's how you can handle macros for multiclass characters in Roll20. Thanks again to Kyle G for the tip, and I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing. And until next time, folks, have a great day.